Yes, y'all. 037, what you want? Yes, y'all. That Kids and Wives and 9 to 5s, where I'm married to the games. They were wondering how hype I could get at 7 o'clock in the morning. And that's about all I got right there.
That'll do it.
It's your boy, Gabe Patillo, with Tim Router and Timothy Hall, of course. We talk about life and games and life. Thank you guys for being here. We appreciate it. We are chilling. We're another week older. 037. Router, are we to you yet?
One more year. One more episode equals one more year.
One more week. I got you.
But thank you for bringing that up. That's good.
I was just wondering. I thought we were to you already.
That's all good.
Anyway, we chilling out, man. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. And let's hear from Router.
All right.
How was your week there?
It was good, man. Memorial Day weekend.
That's right.
It was. We were up in Jersey, just got back from Jersey on Monday. Ended up driving through the night. We left Sunday at like 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And
oh yeah, how was that?
It was good, man. It was actually we were up in New Jersey because Lauren was doing the stationary show in New York, and we also visited friends, and then we also were helping her parents pack and move because they're moving down here to Tennessee. So over the Memorial Day weekend, they had a garage sale. So Thursday and Friday before that, we were packing things up and getting things put together. So it was really more of a work week for me, or a work weekend for me, I should say. Like we were hustling to get a bunch of stuff done. So there wasn't a whole lot of relaxing in PS3, and that's for sure. But it was good. I mean, we helped them out with the garage sale. I think it was great. But it was rainy and cold up there on Friday and Saturday. It was only in the mid 50s. And it was like, oh man, I miss that Tennessee heat right now. Like it would have been nice. But so we drove back on Sunday and got into Nashville at about 3:45 in the morning. And man, Piper was awesome in the car. Like we left right when she started napping. And then it was just a little bit of, stopping every 4 hours or so and getting her situated and gassing up. And I was listening to some podcasts and I was having a ball, and it was great. There was nobody on the road. I really wanted to avoid any other Memorial Day traffic that happened on Monday. And plus it gives you a day, if you just drive straight through, it gives you a day just to unwind and unpack, which we did. So
there you go.
I come back and now my HVAC unit upstairs is shot. So it's hotter.
No.
I knew that was going to happen. The last year, the one for the main floor, basically the controller fried. So I had to get a whole new HVAC unit. I have a smaller one upstairs. And of course that's where I game, and that's where my office is. So I'm up there in the morning sweating, but so I got to deal with, that. But I was able to do a little Borderlands 2 yesterday morning, which was nice. So
there you go.
Still cracking that out. And, it's been good. Just that and Candy Crush still. Oh, by the way, I was
working it out.
Right. Last episode, I said I was at level 20. I wasn't. I'm at level 34, but I'm going back to level 32 because I'm doing it anyway, Gabe. I'm getting 3 stars on everything.
Oh, Tim, it's gonna take forever.
I know. I got all. What else am I gonna do? I got
all the time in the world.
All the time in the world for Candy Crush. So.
And joining the Candy Crush family is Timothy Hall.
Yay!
Yeah, I think I want to say I'm at like level 28 or something. I don't remember.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that game's pretty neat. I mean, it's a lot like Bejeweled.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's nothing new.
Yeah, but they, I think the one thing that I like that they did was they have like many different kinds of those super candies or whatever. So like you get many different kinds of special powers and stuff. I think that was pretty cool. Like, and the lives thing, I haven't run into a place where I've needed to buy lives, I don't think.
Don't do it. Just wait it out.
Why would I? All you gotta do is just put your phone away for like an hour and you got 4 lives or something.
Dude, people buy lives all the time because you start getting so frustrated. I've never done it, but I know Router's done it. And I was talking to a friend last night, and one of my buddy's wives, and she was like, I just got to keep myself from buying lives. I was like, oh my gosh, how much money you spend on lives? And so it was funny because our boy Ed Placencia sent us a tweet and was like, just saw a commercial for Candy Crush on TV. Somebody's been buying lives.
That's very true.
Why?
Awesome.
I'm trying to figure out why anybody would want to like spend money on lives when it gives them to you for free if you just wait.
Because it's $1 and you don't want to wait. We're in America.
It's all about just being impatient and trying to,
get past that level. Router, was that it for your weekend? I cut in on the Candy Crush.
Yeah, this week. So we come back from being in Jersey. We stay for a couple days, and then on Sunday I go down to Disney World with the whole fam.
Oh, I'm so jealous. I love Disney World.
Yeah, Sunday through Friday, so it'll be a lot of fun. I'm bringing my computer. We will still be able to podcast, brothers. So
I'm about to say, you bounced on us last time.
Yeah, well, I was on a cruise in the middle of nowhere, in the middle of Hurricane Sandy. So that was.
Oh, that's right.
I think the circumstances were a little bit different then, but this time we're just doing straight parks. So I'm excited. I'm excited for Piper because she's a little bit older, and I'm curious to see her reactions to all the characters. I'm sure she'll freak out because she's already freaked out with Santa and the Easter Bunny. So she's 0 for 2 so far on mythical furry creatures.
That's how good a parent Tim Router is, just to show the difference in upbringing. Because he's like, oh man, and I'm so excited for Piper to see it. She's older and blah, 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 blah. I'm like, I'm doing a show in Disney in September, and I'm like, I'm leaving the baby with the grandparents and just taking my wife because we just feel like riding rides ourselves.
Oh yeah, no. Don't get me wrong. I'm all about it. And me and
we took Amara last year though.
Yeah, me and my nephew Liam were bound to break our past record of riding Space Mountain 4 times in a row. And he's the adrenaline junkie of the family. My poor brother Dan can't do it. He's like, I can't do it, man. I'm gonna get sick.
He's a nice guy.
He's awesome. So I'm excited. It'll be fun, and we all have a good time when the family gets together. But yeah, I will be podcasting with you boys. I'm bringing my computer. I will find a little quiet spot, and I will be podcasting from Disney World.
I love it.
You should do one of the Disney breakfasts and do the podcast.
Oh my gosh, that would be, well, we are doing one. I should do that. That'd be amazing. Excuse me, Donald Duck's coming by and tapping me on my shoulder.
Timothy Hall.
Yeah.
How's it been?
Busy. So just mainly work stuff. And I probably say that a lot, but I did get a lot of games in.
You beat a game, I saw.
Yes.
Did I? Oh yeah, I beat Blood Dragon. That's right.
Boom.
Yeah, that game is pretty cool. When I beat it though, I kind of did think back on it. I was like, well, there wasn't really a whole lot of story content. I kind of wish there would have been a little bit more, but for $15 you really can't go wrong. It was pretty fun.
Good.
And
what's the game of choice now?
I started playing Alpha Protocol last night.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't get to play it when it came out, so it's just kind of been sitting there, and I was like, I want to get into something new before I do Sleeping Dogs, so I'll do that real quick and then get into either Sleeping Dogs or, I don't know.
Hitman.
Hitman. Yeah.
Sleeping Dogs.
Just say Hitman just to appease me. I know you're not going to play
Hitman
it.
in my dreams.
And say Sleeping Dogs for me, please.
Well, we got The Last of Us coming soon, so
I know.
I guarantee you something's going to get shouldered so I can start playing The Last of Us. So,
and shouldn't their demo have hit for those people that pre-ordered God of War Ascension?
I thought, wasn't it May 28th?
Well,
was it the 28th?
I don't know because they pushed the release date back.
Yeah, so I don't remember. It would have.
Me neither, but I'm jealous.
Yeah, and it would have been good for them to go ahead and release the demo now. I can only imagine that they have a demo ready. Yeah.
Yeah, because some of the news sites have been playing it.
Well, they've been probably playing the full release, haven't they?
No, it was a demo. I read a couple of places that specifically said demo, play demo.
Well, then I guess they did get their pre-order demo, I guess.
Well, they get.
Well, I know they get it for free, but they got their demo. So
I kind of
That's
don't want to.
awesome.
I don't want to play the demo if it comes out. I want to be surprised. I just want to go pick up my pre-order and then go and just start playing it.
Yeah, I'm fiending for it for sure.
Yeah, I'm just
Yeah.
gonna play the game when I go get it. I mean, I have a lot of things to worry about right now on top of that stuff. So it's like I'll play it when it comes out.
Exactly.
But yeah, I like going back and playing some release titles, especially because when this next generation rolls around, we're not going to be able to play any of these games probably. So
Yeah, that's still actually up in the air, which we can talk about later, which I thought was really interesting.
yeah, we can chat about that a little bit later. But I want to go back and play all the games that I didn't get to, and I started playing Alpha Protocol last night, and I really like it. I knew I would.
Is that the one with like the bluish cover, blue and white?
It's like the blue and white with the silhouette of a guy on it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I
sure.
just remember when Router and I met up at, like, I think it was like the day after Christmas when we went out and spent our gift cards. I saw it at GameStop for like $5. I was like, why not? Because I've been waiting to play it.
Is that a shooter?
Yeah, and it's more of an RPG style shooter.
Cool.
It's kind of like
like Mass Effect.
It's very similar to Mass Effect, but it also kind of reminds me of, this is going to be crazy, playing like Mission Impossible games for like Nintendo 64 and PS1. If you remember those kind of games, it also kind of reminds me of Metal Gear Solid 2 a little bit, like the kind of behind the back control and stuff.
Yeah.
But I remember when the game came out, everybody was complaining, oh, well, you can, have a headshot and you still won't hit him because your stat isn't leveled up enough. So it's very RPG. So if you're not really into
grinding it out.
Yeah, if you're not into leveling up and grinding it out and getting kind of better at the abilities that you have, it's really not the greatest game for that. It's not a Call of Duty or even really a Mass Effect, because Mass Effect, when you put the crosshair on it, you're still going to hit,
Right.
But yeah, I mean, I like it. I like Obsidian Games, so they do some really cool RPG stuff. And those guys, I believe they were the original Fallout guys. That's why I kind of like their games a lot. So
sweet.
That's very cool.
Oh, and
all right, Gabe.
Real quick, do you guys think we're going to get a Fallout 4 announcement at E3?
Probably.
I wanted to ask you guys about that.
I would think so. I mean, anytime you're like anything's a little on the edge, I think E3 is a good place that you're going to see it.
It really is just the Super Bowl for video game announcements anyway. So I'm sure we're going to get inundated with stuff. Our heads are going to explode on our next podcast after E3 because there's going to be so much information.
Oh, that's cool. We might have to do like a special in the midst of E3 podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah, the reason I asked is because I got to pick up Fallout New Vegas soon so I can play through and finish that. Did you guys ever play that?
No, but I heard it was awesome.
Yeah, I was thinking about it because I don't know if it's on sale or what, but I've got a lot of points on my Xbox account and it's only like $15. So I was thinking about picking it up so I don't have to have the disc. So
there you go.
That's awesome.
Great.
All right, Mr. Patillo, you're up.
Patilio, make 100 millio.
That's right.
On my way to that Billy-o.
Yeah, boy.
So, did the View since I talked to you guys last in New York. That was fun.
Who was that who tweeted out our podcast link?
Sherry Shepard.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
That's so awesome.
Which is awesome. Yeah. The black girl that's not Whoopi on there. Sherry, she always shows us a lot of love, and she's just a sweetheart. And so when she saw us, she was like, "Hey!" She's like, "Ooh, what's y'all's Twitter? I want to get a picture and put it on." Blah blah blah. I was like, so we did that whole thing.
You gave her the podcast.
Of course,
Great job. Great job.
That's so awesome.
Why would I do my own? I'm not trying to promote myself. Yeah, I want you guys to get some love too. So that was cool. It's always so interesting to go to those things and do those things and be around those people. So we went on Thursday, and on Thursday, so they shoot a live show Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And then on Thursday, after their live show, they shoot another show for Friday, and Friday's not live, right? And so and for the men that are listening, just go ask your wives about this. They'll know what we're talking about. So I was really mad at myself because I let a great opportunity slip through my fingers. So everybody that was there while we were there was John Fogerty. Do you know who that is?
Yep.
Either of you guys?
Mm-hmm.
What is it? Creedence Clearwater Revival? Is that what it was called?
I can't remember which. All I remember is Put Me in, Coach.
Put Me in, Coach.
Or Center Field. Duh. The song?
I don't know what you're talking about. Oh, yeah. I don't know any of his music.
I think it was Creedence.
Creedence Clearwater Revival.
I think you're right.
John Fogerty. Jillian Michaels from The Biggest Loser was there.
She scares me.
Chris O'Donnell was there, which I don't know him from TV now. I just remember him as like the first Robin in the Batman movies.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Batman and Robin, buddy.
And then Jason Sudeikis was there from SNL.
Oh, wow.
And it was one of those things where I was really nervous because I think he's hilarious. He was in he's on SNL, but he was also in Horrible Bosses and The Campaign with Zach Galifianakis and Will Ferrell.
Yeah.
And
he's awesome.
And he's just so funny. And he seemed really cool. So I was kind of like trying to work up the nerve, and me and a couple of guys were going to go over there and talk to him. And so as I leave the dressing room to go talk to one of the guys in our band, I was like, hey, man, should we go get a picture with Jason Sudeikis? Like, he's just sitting there like we are, just waiting. So maybe we can go talk to him and get a picture. And he was like, all right, let's do it. And so we were like, all right. So we walk out in the hallway just in time to see the people walk into his dressing room and be like, all right, you ready to go upstairs and do your segment? And we were like, no.
You totally missed an opportunity.
Yeah, totally missed an opportunity for a picture. And then he gets on the show. He's talking and he's like, yeah, blah, 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 blah. And they're like, yeah, and this is going good. This is going good. He's like, yeah. He goes, but not as good as NBA 2K on my PlayStation. I was like, no, he's a gamer. And so it hurt my feelings all the more just to know that.
Oh, that's sad.
Gabe, this episode could have been special guest.
I know, Jason Sudeikis. How awesome would that have been?
That would have been amazing.
Anyway. So that's always fun just to go and do that and be around because the cast, like or dislike the show, the cast and the crew are so professional and it's just like boom, 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 like everything.
It's like clockwork.
Yeah. And it's just dope. Like, Router's about to be in Disney. It's just dope seeing stuff done in perfection and with, a very strong work ethic.
What time did you have to get up?
You know what? This year wasn't too bad. We had to be there at 7:30. So
that's not bad.
Yeah, it wasn't bad at all. It was a little bad because we're coming from Nashville, so really it felt like 6:30.
Right.
And then me and the wife got a date night, went and watched Fast and Furious 6.
Oh, how was it?
We have a love affair with those movies. I understand that everybody doesn't like those movies, and I understand that it's probably not a great movie, but we love those movies.
Yeah, for what it is, it's like
exactly.
You know what you're going in there for. It's not like you're going to have some riveting story,
right? It's super fun, and
there's cool cars.
Yeah, the whole original cast has been back, and so that's just
and Luda's in it, so
fun.
You can't.
Of course,
you can't.
Luda.
It did pretty well at the box office too.
It broke records.
It did.
I'm shocked.
Broke Memorial Day records. I know it's crazy to see it rebound because 1 did good, 2 did better than 1, and then 3 like plummeted. And then Jeremy Lin, no, I don't remember what the director's name is, but it's something like that. He got a hold of it on 3 and then did 4, talked Vin Diesel into coming back, 5, and now 6. And they've grown to like a stupid popularity. And it's awesome because I love those movies.
Wasn't one of those, like, was it number 4 where they just went to like The Fast and the Furious?
Yeah, it was weird because it was like Fast and Furious, then Too Fast, Too Furious, which sounds like super feminine.
Yeah, right.
Like we are too fast and we are too furious.
Oh my gosh.
And then
Tokyo Drift.
3 went to Tokyo Drift, which didn't have like barely any of the original people in it. And then I think 4 went back to The Fast and the Furious. And then 5 was just Fast 5.
That's right.
And then this one, the commercials were The Fast and the Furious 6, but then when you went and saw it, the title marquee was Furious 6. So Fast 5, Furious 6. Anyway, nobody cares about that.
Oh, okay, I get it.
I beat Spec Ops: The Line
Yay!
this week, which was a great game.
Game is trippy at the end, isn't it?
It is trippy, period.
Period.
But it's
yeah.
also, it's got a great twist in there, which you do not
really.
see coming. So just me even saying twist doesn't spoil anything because you're not going to see it coming, and it's really interesting, and I liked it.
Spoiler: you're in the desert. There.
Yeah, exactly.
There you go.
I need to play
so
that, but
good.
I think I forgot to download it when it was free.
Yeah,
you have to play it. I mean, it's cheap now. I think you can pick
I'm
it up.
Sure.
It's cheap and it's fast. It
really is. It goes really.
I probably
quick.
played it 3 days, 3 or 4 days, and beat
okay,
it.
that's good.
And then I was like, okay, what next? What am I gonna play next? I looked at Skyrim. I was like, all right, I think I'm gonna start Skyrim because I'm gonna be home kind of off and on a lot. And I was like, you know what? Let me play a little Fight Night Champion first because it's a great game. Threw in Fight Night, playing through the story. Yellow Light of Death.
You shouldn't have played Fight Night.
You shouldn't have played Fight Night.
Dude, the YLOD, also known as the Y Lord.
Wow. It just happened like, was it in the middle of a game?
Yeah,
or was
the game while it was loading, which, while it was loading for the next fight, it just paused. And I was like, oh. I said, oh man, it froze. That sucks. So I turn it off, turn it back on. Yellow Light of Death.
Oh man.
So today I'm meeting up with a guy in Murfreesboro who's fixed like 500 consoles between PlayStation and the Xbox. And his work is guaranteed for 3 months, but he says it always goes longer than that. And I just need to hold out till the PlayStation 4. Because if this thing's on its last legs, I'm not going to buy another PlayStation and a PlayStation 4.
Yeah,
so
right.
this might force me into next gen.
There you go. All right. Well, there's a silver lining there.
All I needed was a reason.
That's right.
Yeah, and you might be able to sell your current one for parts or something.
Or something. I don't know if I
Maybe
want to deal with
$5. I don't know.
That console guy sounds really cool. We'll have to get his number just in case.
Yeah, exactly. So if he does good work, I'll big up him next week on the podcast, but I'll also tweet out to everybody because I hit up people on Twitter and Facebook. They're really helpful what to do. Some people were like, it's dead. Don't even worry about it. Some people were like, you can fix it for a little while. So I'm hoping I fall in that you can fix it for a little while category.
That's crazy.
Because if I can get another year out of it, I'd be happy.
Yeah, and you don't need
done.
it to last like very long at all. I mean, the new console will be here in November. So you could just be like, for Christmas, I need a PS4. So.
Yeah, or a PS3 if I already have the PS4 by Christmas.
That's
if
right.
my layaway plan works. Router.
Yes.
Do it to it.
Let's do it. Okay, new releases for this week, and this is the week ending May 18th. So it's 1 week behind. I'm sorry. New releases this week.
I was
Let's
like,
do new
what?
Whoa.
What?
New releases from last week.
New releases from new releases this week. I'm thinking of the charts, which we will get to momentarily.
He's like, new releases this week. Luigi's Haunted Mansion for the 3DS.
New releases. All right, let's do new releases. Grid 2 for PS3, Xbox, and PC. Mm-hmm. It's another racer game.
And the special edition is how much? 183,000.
What?
Did you hear about that?
No.
Yeah, the Grid 2 special edition. They were. I don't know if this was a joke or something, but they said like, the special edition is 183,000, and it comes with this car, or something like that.
No way.
Yeah, no. Okay.
So you get it.
Yeah, I'm pulling up the story.
Get a car.
Now.
You get a car with a grid.
That's incredible. Okay, keep going, Router.
Sorry. So Insomniac has a new one called Fuse, which released this week. PS3, Xbox 360.
Kind of looks cool.
Yeah, it does kind of look cool. Gabe, you'll appreciate this. For iOS, Final Fantasy V comes out.
Oh, really?
Yes.
I got a couple tweets this week saying I needed to try 6. Which Hall is backed up saying that one was awesome.
Was it 6 or 4 that they were recommending to you?
I think it was 6.
I saw it. Somebody had tweeted about 4, so they probably tweeted both of them to you. I don't remember.
Yeah. Which one did you say though? You said 6 was amazing, right?
6 is really good. 4 is pretty good. There's a lot of people that like 4 more than 6. But I think it kind of goes both ways, and they're both different stories, and they're both good for different reasons. So.
Okay. Sorry, Router. We're interrupting you all over the place today.
Just geek out on your Japanese stuff. That's fine. It's all good.
Okay, the car is a BAC mono supercar or something. BAC mono.
Okay. And you get that when you purchase Grid 2.
The special edition of Grid 2.
Special edition.
188,000.
That is crazy.
That's
any rich
deal,
folks
man.
out there?
You basically get the game for free. So
I'm sure there's a hidden $60 in there somewhere.
Yeah. And what's the DLC going to be, like 50,000 each?
Exactly.
new
comes
parts
with
for your
rims.
car. Turbo.
Yeah, it comes with the rims.
That's awesome.
I'm sorry, Router. I never.
Oh, no, that's totally fine. The only other release was Lego Batman 2 for the Wii U, DC Superheroes. So
there you go. People
out.
love those games. I've never played a Lego game, but people love them.
I played the demo for Lego Batman 2 for the PS3 and freaking loved it. I never bought the game, but it was great.
Really?
Yeah, it's really
What is
fun.
so fun about those games?
I don't know. It's just, you've got all these you pick up all these little Lego pieces. You get to destroy Lego pieces. It's just it's really cool. And you know what? That's totally a game that I can see Piper playing down the road. Like it's good. It's really great for kids.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
These are good family games. They're clever. They're a lot of fun.
Good, man.
Yeah.
I hear that all the time.
It would be
and I need
nice for us to
one.
get together and be able to play that, because I bought it at Christmas time because it was like on Black Friday. It was like ridiculously cheap, and I haven't even opened it yet.
Yeah.
It'd be nice for us to get together, period.
Yeah, right? We need
Can we get together for lunch?
Yeah, we need a gaming party or hey, let's at least have a coffee together, for crying out loud.
That's funny.
All right, anyway, top selling games, and this is for the week of ending May 18th, not the new releases.
There we go.
Number 1, Metro Last Light for Xbox 360.
That makes sense.
Yep, good for them. And number 2 was Metro for PS3. Number 3, Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon. Number 4, Lego City Undercover.
Dude, that's going to be one of those games that's going to be like Freebird 20 years from now when people are like, when esports hopefully takes off in like 20 years. People be yelling from the crowd like, Luigi's Mansion! Luigi's Mansion!
Oh, my 3DS. God. 3DS taking over. Number 3 and number 4 spot. Luigi's Mansion number 3, Lego City Undercover number 4. I actually played a little bit of that. Our friend has a 7-year-old who has a Wii U, and we were playing some Lego City Undercover, and it was a lot of fun.
See,
but yeah, so that's good stuff.
Our boy from the Frozen Gamer, the guys up in Alaska, they were saying the 3DS has got some good stuff on it.
Yeah, they're coming back.
I love it.
It's all good. Number 5, Dead Island Riptide for Xbox 360. Number 6, Injustice for Xbox 360. Number 7, Call of Duty Black Ops 2 for Xbox 360. Number 8, Halo 4 for Xbox 360. Number 9, NBA 2K13 for Xbox 360. Number 10, New Super Mario Bros. 2 for the 3DS. 3DS has 3 games in the top 10 right now.
That's awesome.
That's pretty awesome.
I love that.
Poor Vita.
I know.
I know.
Right? Vita said,
has a Vita game ever been in the top 10?
Ooh, pick me. Ooh.
I know the answer.
I can do this. Pick me.
I bet the PS Vita is about to get Candy Crush or something.
Yeah, right.
It needs to get something. Nice.
There you have it. Top selling games.
Hey, I was reading something. So I've been kind of trying to keep up with the Xbox One not playing used games type of thing.
Right.
It says that used game sales will continue, and it says that ownership is determined by an on-disk encryption code.
Right.
Which
it even goes deeper than that too, but continue.
Well, it sounds, I mean, they're saying like, oh, it'll be activated to a person's account, but that still doesn't really hit those people that aren't going to be connected, because I know of at least one person one
Right.
person
We all
that
do.
is not. Yeah, I mean, I know more than one person that's not going to be connected. So
I'm very confused as to how they're going to do this because they talk about it needing to like check in at least once every 24 hours.
yeah, but I mean, how are they going to convey that to people? Like when you go to Walmart, for instance, like mom goes to Walmart and says, "My son really wants the Xbox One," and we're talking. Let's say mom goes to Walmart in Appalachia or something crazy where they don't have the internet. And she
Right.
says, "My son really wants the Xbox One." She buys it, she takes it home. It wants to connect every 24 hours, and she has no idea what that means. I mean, seriously, like, how do you explain that to people? Because the sales associates aren't going to know anything. Like, they're not going to know that it needs to be connected to every 24 hours, and they don't even care. So
I think if you went to, there's a difference. So I think if you went to Best Buy, you'd have somebody that would know.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
because Walmart's so general, you very well may not have somebody know everything about
I
it.
think it's going to be Walmart and Target both. And I bet if you even went to GameStop, people would not know. So, I mean,
I think they wouldn't know how to work around it.
yeah.
They would know what you're talking about,
Mhm.
Yeah.
but they wouldn't be able to help. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah. that
And
makes
really,
sense.
is there a workaround for that? That's the issue.
I don't even know, y'all. I think it's a scary concept to think that it's gonna have to be connected. Can I jump in on this story too? Because I wanted to add something to that,
Sure.
which kind of talks about it's talking about the same thing. But they're saying the way used games will be done is you'll buy a game, take it home, it'll register to your account, which again, how you do that without the internet, I don't know. And then you're not going to be able to sell it on eBay. This is the main problem. You're going to have to take it back to a video game store that supports their video game server,
Oh,
Microsoft
man.
server thing.
Really?
And so it'll uncheck you from your account and it'll be and this is all of it's a little bit rumor millish because Microsoft hasn't come out and said what it's going to do yet.
Actually, let me interrupt you for a second because Friday they did announce an official statement for Xbox One and used games. Ready?
Oh yeah, let's hear it.
The ability to trade in and resell games is important to gamers and to Xbox. Xbox One is designed to support the trade-in and resale of games. Reports about our policies for trade-in and resale are inaccurate and incomplete. We will disclose more information in the near future. That's their statement.
Right.
Thank you, Microsoft, for clearing everything up.
Exactly. And it took them long enough to make a statement. I honestly think that they had this idea about how used games are going to work, but I don't think they've fleshed it out yet.
Well,
right.
Go ahead,
No, I
sorry.
was just going to say the thing that sucks is what they keep leaning towards in all their comments is that it's going to have to be done through someone else. I'm not going to be able to sell a game to Tim. And
Right.
Tim's not going to be able to let me borrow a game. And another thing is we're not going to be able to just take games over to our buddies' houses. So Microsoft they said that while there have been many potential scenarios discussed, we have only confirmed that we designed Xbox One to enable our customers to trade in and resell games at retail. Beyond that, we have not confirmed any specific scenarios. Another piece of clarification around playing games at a friend's house. Should you choose to play your game at your friend's house, there is no fee to play that game while you are signed into your profile.
Wow. But Gabe, going back to what you were saying about going back to the retailers, well, then that puts all the responsibility on the retailers, and they're not going to want to have to go through all this.
But the thing is, too, not only are they not going to want to go through it, and Microsoft might make it simple enough to where they're integrated with the system, but the publishers, the rumor is the publishers and Microsoft are now going to start taking a cut of the used game business where GameStop used to get all the money. Now Microsoft and the developers are going to be taking a percentage.
Well, I was going to say, Gabe, how much of a cut do you get from every used Toby Mac CD sold?
Toby Mac gets zero.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, in no other industry, I think, is this an issue, really.
Right.
Right.
I mean,
like
which
books.
I get.
Amazon.com.
Well, I guess it's different because I mean, making a CD doesn't cost near as much as it used to, but making a game still costs a lot of money, and it does kind of grow exponentially. I'd rather see them just take this generation and charge $10 more for games instead of doing all this
Well,
bull
that's what I
crap.
was going to say. If they're going to take a cut, then what's going to end up happening is the used games are going to go up in price regardless.
Exactly.
Like,
well, and with this fee that they're talking about when you like buy it from GameStop and then there's like a little fee on there to activate it onto your account, it's like, oh my gosh, this could get messy. And this is where PlayStation, if they were smart, could come in and do away with all that if they want to really win the console war this generation.
I've heard people say that Sony is not going to do something different than Microsoft is going to do. Like Sony is going to have the same thing. Like that's what a lot of people are saying right now. But you're totally right. They could totally do it just the way it's been done this generation. Because realistically, you spend so much money chasing that extra dollar, like from a used game sale, that it's kind of just, to me, I look at that and I say it's just kind of pointless. I mean, I guess it really depends on how aggressive the retailers are at used, which I think a lot of people get mad at GameStop for being so aggressive with their used policy, like getting rid of used games, because then GameStop makes all that money and publishers don't. But I mean, it's really hard to say. Like I would, like I said, I would rather them just take next generation and the games are $69.99.
right
Instead of $59.99.
Yeah, and I think
I always buy them on sale anyway.
Yep.
So if I'm going to pay, typically I'll pay $30 or $40 for a game. If I'm going to pay 40 or 50 instead, I really don't care. It's fine.
Right. And I think that's inevitably what if Sony decides to say, screw it, we're going to just keep doing the way that we've always doing, then expect the games to go up in price because, everybody is so concerned with DRM and how, and developers want to get their money. Totally understandable. I get that. But there has to be some sort of leeway in between. If you're going to be swap games left and right here, these consoles have to be able to, or the developers want to be able to get some money for it. But what's interesting is Best Buy, I think, has really been pushing their trade-in programs. Now, I've been getting emails from Best Buy since I joined the Gamers Reward Zone, and they've only rolled this out in the last year and a half or so. So, like, these retailers are starting to put together these, trade-in, used games kind of programs, and now they're going to get shut down if Microsoft and Sony decide to not include this anymore. Like that's going to kill that business model for them, and that's going to end up pissing off a lot of retailers. And so it's weird. I think a lot will be revealed at E3. I hope it's not as complicated as you're saying, Gabe. But I think what's going to end up happening is where there's either going to be a fee or a price increase for a game, and then that's it.
Well, I think if I were like somebody like Best Buy, who's not necessarily all in on the games business. GameStop is a games retailer, but Best Buy is an everything retailer. If I were a company like them, I would look at the next generation. If they're going to do this convoluted, regulated type of thing with used game sales, like I would just say, forget it. We're not going to do it. We're just going to sell new games. Like, why would you care? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, because in no other industry are things regulated that way.
Yeah. I know. That's what I was just thinking. Like Redbox, I don't think the studios get a piece of every time I rent a movie.
If so, it would be ridiculously cheap.
Like, you know what I'm saying? They buy it and they rent them out. You know what I mean?
I mean, that's the thing.
It's a shiny nickel.
Well, when you get a disc, I mean, it's a tangible good. You can do whatever you want with it. If I buy an audio CD and decide I want to sell it to a friend for $5 next week, I can do that.
Right.
Yeah.
It's my property.
Yeah. Gracious.
So
another thing, and not to harp on this because we were I listened back to the podcast last week and we were really hard on Xbox at Microsoft. And we don't mean to be,
no,
but we're gamers on a budget.
Yeah.
And it's straight up more fun to make fun of and be hard on people than it is to be positive.
Well, and my thing is too, I think all of us would agree, we just want a dope console with dope games.
Exactly.
Make it easy.
Exactly.
Like, why are we trying to change so much stuff? Why is what you're doing not working? You know what I'm
Right.
saying? I understand everything is down. Music's down. But entertainment just period is down. I understand that. But let's not now make the buyers pay for it that are trying to support you.
Right. And keep it simple. I mean, you don't need to do a ton. You need to have a great game, first off, to play. And that's the games are what going to drive your systems. That's the bottom line. If you're going to say that you're a gaming console, then the games have to drive the system. I think our main point last week was because we didn't get a whole lot of game information, it was more of an all-in-one thing for Microsoft One. Our tone is probably going to be a lot different come E3. And I think to validate kind of why we were busting on Xbox was just because it was kind of a pointless press conference for us as gamers because they didn't reveal a whole lot.
Exactly.
But so a lot's going to change come E3. There's going to be so much to talk about, and I think we're all going to be excited for anything and everything.
Exactly.
So it's all going to come to the fold because it has to, because these game consoles are coming out and they have to make that decision on what they're going to do with trade-ins and used games.
I will say that. Oh, sorry, Tim.
No, go right. The only thing else I was going to say is because I want to be able to share my games with you guys. If we like a game, that's what gets people to buy more games too. Is word of mouth. And I know the music industry went through this because I worked when I was doing a lot of websites for music artists. We would push offering free downloads if you signed up for a newsletter or that kind of stuff. And labels kind of freaked out initially because it was like, no, you're giving away, copyrighted information, blah, blah, blah. But what they were starting to find out was that, hey, it builds more awareness for that artist and for that song.
It's the same thing that PS Plus is doing when they release the initial game before they release the sequel. It's perfect.
Exactly.
It's perfect marketing.
When they did that with Borderlands, I am the perfect example of becoming a Borderlands fan. I had never played it before. I knew Borderlands 2 was coming out. They released Borderlands a month before, and I was hooked and done. And I think that's important that they need to remember too, is that especially with all the social media we have, word of mouth gets out, and it gets out fast, and it can be very, very profitable.
There you go. So quickly. Just another X-Bone thing before we move on.
Did you say X-Bone?
He said X-Bone. I love it. X-Bone.
X-Bone. So do you think it's going to hurt them? Because Sony hasn't said yet, and they probably won't do this, but we all know that the Xbox One won't be backwards compatible with discs. And because they have a Blu-ray player, in them now. It's kind of a different setup than that they had before with the HD DVDs. I think is what they had before.
No, they've been using DVDs all the time. So
just regular DVDs.
Yeah, theoretically, DVD games could still work.
Oh, so they could still play
but
them.
the architecture is
not
so different.
Yeah, so. It's not going to be backwards compatible. They said, but this kind of bummed me out. You're not going to be able to download your XBLA games either.
Yeah,
you're going to have to continue to play those on your 360. So I'm like, man, this is another huge opportunity for Sony. If Sony, even though they changed chipsets, there's probably something they can do to make their system backwards compatible that's not going to end up in the awful plane crashing down in smoke situations that they had when the PlayStation 3 came out. But with PlayStation Plus and the PlayStation Network, if you can bring those games over, that's another huge plus that they're going to have over the Xbox. Why, Hall, do you think that they're not letting you play the XBLA games on the new one? That doesn't even seem like it makes sense.
I think the reason that a lot of people are concerned about this is because this is the first generation where you had downloadable titles. And theoretically, I mean, you can always keep them on your system. Well, when you get to a system where they're not compatible, then you basically... I mean, you still own them on your old console, but that's it. Like, you don't technically own them anymore. They're tied to your account, but you can't play them anymore if you're not using your old console. So I think that the reason that they're not too concerned about it, I've heard the yeah, I mean, we've heard this rumor over and over again about the $99 Xbox, like the one that only plays downloadable games.
Right.
And I think that that's why they're not so concerned about it, because I bet they're going to release something like that soon.
But don't you think that it would push? That's one of the things. I need everything in their power to push me to go buy these next consoles.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, it's exciting. Of course, I want to, but like, I don't need anything holding me back. So if they're like, "Hey, buy this new console," but all these bought games that you already bought online, you won't be able to play. Almost keeps me from getting it because I'm like, "Oh shoot, well, I'm not done with some of these games."
I think a lot of people are going to wait a little longer this time, but I think with this generation, they're going to give you an incentive. They have to. They have to give you a free game or something. And I'm not even saying like a free AAA game. Maybe just like a couple free downloadable games. Something that'll kind of you'll have something to play if you buy the console and don't get any games with it. You know what I'm saying?
Frogger, give me Frogger.
Yeah, exactly. Give me Frogger. And I mean, I think
Joust.
Yeah, I think Sony's stance on this wasn't their stance that you're going to be able to stream those games technically through Gaikai.
That's why they bought Gaikai.
Yeah,
that's why they bought Gaikai, and that was my point when Gabe was mentioning this. Was I think Gaikai is going to be your ticket to play those games. You will have to pay probably a monthly fee for the cloud servicing, but that's exactly why they bought them specifically for this reason.
Okay, yeah,
so
sure.
That's your solution on the Sony side, but that still leaves Microsoft going, okay, what are you guys going to do? So it's interesting.
Well, I know that when I bought the 360, I didn't have any Xbox games because I owned a PlayStation 2 before. But with the 360, I remember they supported like a handful or well, it was more than a handful, but they supported a lot of Xbox original games. I almost said Xbox One, but I can't say that
anymore. Of course you want to call it the Xbox One. Yep. Of course.
They
it only makes sense.
They supported a lot of original Xbox titles. And so like I played like Halo 2 and stuff like that on there. But like it's like it didn't really I don't think it really stuck with people. Like I don't think people cared that much about the backwards compatibility. Like as much as they think they would. Like I said, there just wasn't. I mean, the original Xbox did have some downloadable games, I think, but I don't know if those transferred or not. But this generation, I mean, I've got a ton of downloaded content on both of my systems, so to not be able to play any of that is, I don't know.
Well, and is the backward compatibility issue just because you already have this console? You'll probably, I'll probably keep my PS3, get a PS4, and just stack them. And then, if I can't play something on the PS4, I'll just switch back over to PS3.
Yeah, but you're not going to want to do that.
Yeah,
you really don't want to. I mean, for me, like I think my PS3 is just going to be relegated to somewhere else in the house. Like I'll have I'll have a gaming room, and then I'll have just the living room that happens to have a PS3 because it's a Blu-ray player or something. So
yeah,
right. My thing is, it just bugged me about the online downloadable stuff because I was like, man, what if I bought a new iPad and they were like, hey, this brand new iPad, it's awesome. Look at the Retina display. You can't play your old apps, but it's awesome. I'd be like, but I bought all those and I love those and I want to bring them over to my new thing,
Exactly.
Yep.
Anyway.
Yeah, and downloadable titles on the PlayStation 3 and the Xbox 360 cost a lot more than they do on iOS.
Exactly.
So like with iOS, you're not losing near as much. It depends on the number of apps you have, but you may not be losing near as much as you would making the generational jump with consoles.
Of course, just in one game. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, I'm thinking about because I got a lot of Microsoft points. I was thinking about picking up Skyrim on my 360, and to know that I wouldn't be able to bring that to my next console, it's kind of depressing.
For sure.
It's all going to come down to E3, boys.
Yeah,
that's the bottom line. We have to be patient, and that's what we're not. We're very impatient because we want to know what's going on so we can plan ahead.
Yeah. Router, did you have something?
No, that's what I was going to discuss was the fact that they did come out with a statement on Friday, which was completely ambiguous.
Right. Hall, did you have anything else?
That's it, man. I think we should get the questions soon.
Yes, I got to do a shout out real fast.
Hit it.
Bradley C. from episode 6,
Oh, yes.
Coin Op Co-op. His exhibit, The Golden Age of Video Games, opened 2 days ago in Green Bay in the museum. I think it's
wow.
I don't know how to say it. Neville, Neville Public Museum in Green Bay. Opened 2 days ago. He's going to be there all summer. I'm going to go try to catch him sometime and do an interview and take pictures and see it.
Oh, please do.
So
That's
Bradley
so
C's
awesome.
exhibit. If you're anywhere near Green Bay, listen. If you're anywhere near Green Bay, go see this exhibit. It's awesome. I haven't seen the exhibit, but I've been to his house, which is pretty much the exhibit.
I was going to say.
And he's got a bunch of games out there. It's awesome. You can go, you can play them. And it's at the museum. Go culture yourself, for goodness
That's
sakes.
really cool. Man, that'd be awesome. He should really do a traveling one and bring it here.
Bring it to Nashville.
That'd be amazing.
That would be amazing.
You know how many trucks he probably need?
So big shout out to Bradley C. That's an awesome. I don't think you know when you start a hobby that the museum's going to call.
Yeah, that's really
That
cool.
is
You know what I
really
mean?
cool.
That is
Yeah.
really,
So
really
how
cool.
awesome is that? So big
Yep.
ups to Bradley C, man. Congratulations. Good job.
True married to the games right there.
That's super married to the games.
He is
took his
definitely
marriage to the
married
museum.
to the games.
Yes, the museum has put his marriage on display.
That's right. All right, boys, let's get to some questions. I got a total of 4 here for you. One from our boy Ed Placencia on Twitter. And this is actually a good one. Made me think for a second. What was the first game you beat?
Oh my gosh.
Mine was Super Mario Brothers.
I mean, it's got to be, right?
That's probably me too.
That's
I
probably
mean, it's got to be only because
everybody.
it came with the system.
Exactly.
And so, you didn't have to buy anything extra, and you couldn't. I don't know if you could beat Duck Hunt.
I don't think you could beat any of those Atari games either, because I mean there were like a few.
Pitfall,
Well,
Adventure.
for that,
Yeah.
it wasn't beating. It was all high scores. Whatever your
Exactly.
highest score was.
Huh?
Yeah, I gotta say, it's got to be Super Mario Brothers on
Yeah,
the
Probably same
original
here.
NES.
Yep. And then our boy Drew Freeman on Facebook has 2 questions. One is, where do you go to find the majority of your game news and intel, etc.?
I'm not telling, or you won't listen to the show.
No, there's a couple good places to go, I think. I've gone to IGN. They've always been a good site because they kind of cover the basis and a lot of stuff. And for more like really in-depth stuff, I like Giant Bomb too. I actually listen to the Bombcast quite a bit. Those guys have been around for a while.
Yeah. I would say IGN has been always a staple. GameSpot, not to be confused with GameStop, but GameSpot.com.
Yeah, that is confusing.
Is a great place. And that's where I also watch all the E3 conferences from GameSpot.com.
Yep.
Hall?
I like Joystick, and Polygon's pretty cool. That new site.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, IGN, obviously.
Yeah.
Just
and I have a
every now
lot
and then.
more. I'm just not mentioning.
We're being very conservative
I would
here.
stay close to the vest, man. Shoot.
That's right, man. No, it's a good
I know
question.
some people that know some people that know some things.
That's right. Hey, you want a video game? All right. And his second question is really great. What's the best game of this generation?
Yowzers.
Man, that's crazy.
That's going to fall under so many different people.
I know.
Some people are going to say that Uncharted just because of how awesome it was. Some people are going to say Gears because Gears of War was amazing.
What's weird for me is this is really my first generation. So I'm like, I don't know.
I think that's what he means. This PlayStation 3, Xbox 360.
Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah. I don't
That's
know.
a hard one.
That is a hard one. I don't know what the best game.
Because the best might not be my favorite, but then I want my favorite to be the best.
Right. My best game right now is Sleeping Dogs, to be honest. Like
Heck
that's my best game, I guess, while I'm thinking of it in the moment right now. I love that game. That was a great game.
Man, best game of this generation. That's hard, man. That's too hard a question.
I think mine's Uncharted 2, honestly.
Yeah.
I love
a good
that
one.
game.
I think there's some games that change the game. And I think
Did you do little air quotes when you said that?
I know I should have.
He should have, right?
I don't know. I feel like the groundswell of when like the first Assassin's Creed and stuff like that were coming out, and how it like just demolished. Yeah, I think around the same time. Well, that's a couple of years later. Prototype came out. Prototype came out with Infamous, but just to see its staying power. Anytime you have staying power like that, I
Yeah.
think, especially when it's story driven. You know what I'm saying? Call of Duty has staying power because it's multiplayer, not because of its story. But for them to be making Assassin's Creed games just over and over, and people still getting them every single time they come out, I think that puts you up there. Same with Uncharted. You know, those are story driven games, and I think when you talk about a game, you can't take out the story. You know,
Yep.
so
Yep.
I don't know. There's a lot of really great ones.
Yep. That's a tough one, but thanks, Drew, for those two questions. That was great. One more from Alex Perez on Facebook. This is a good one. How will you introduce gaming to your children? Also, if and when the time comes, how will you address violence and wild fantasy?
Woo!
Ooh, that's some parenting. That's a parenting question right
That's a
there.
good question.
That's a good one, Alex. Thank you for that. Um, I think it boils down to when they're really, really young and don't know really what's going on. You stick with the safe games. You stick with like even the Lego stuff, the Mario Karts. That's how I think I'm going to introduce Piper to stuff. Just more of the clearly more of the family focused games. When she gets older, it does require a sit down and be like, look, this kind of stuff is fantasy. It's not real life, and just kind of addressing it. And I think being there while they're doing it initially, I think is and being able to play. Oh man, it'll be amazing to play games with her. It'll be so much fun. But being able to just be there with her. So if she does have questions as she goes along, headshotting people, you can address that.
Yeah, and
Which I think
You can headshot people in a Lego game.
no. Like if she starts to play the kind of games that I'm playing, then you address it, and you talk about it. But clearly, that's going to be years from now.
yeah.
Actually,
But-
the Lego games are more violent because they burst into pieces.
Yeah, that's true. They do
Their
burst into
guts
pieces,
and
but
everything
that's
go everywhere.
that's more. It's more fun. There's no blood and guts in it. So yeah, I think it's just being there for them while they're playing, and if they have questions, you answer them as best you can, and just kind of giving them, I don't know, just giving them the once they're able to tell the difference and explain to them what the difference is. I think that goes a long way.
I think when you talk about gaming, just overarching gaming, I think the easiest way, and I've already seen it, introducing Amara to gaming is that doggone iPad.
Yep.
She loves that thing and loves clicking around on it. And, I think it's, and it helps so much with development now. We've noticed her repeating words and stuff like that from like little flashcard games, even.
Yep.
And so I think, and she obviously sees me play them all the time and loves holding the controller and stuff like that. So I think the iPad interactive stuff that helps with a little, education on the side is probably how I'll try to introduce gaming to my daughter. When it comes to wild fantasy and violence, man, I think that number one, having a balanced household, and then really, and this sounds sad, but who we are as a culture, I think almost develops them on the violence side of things. You turn on the news and a guy's gotten his head chopped off in London. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I mean, it doesn't get any more. I'm not playing any games where I'm hacking somebody's head off. And so
Right.
that's more violent than any video game that I would play in front of her. So I think when it comes to video games and wild fantasy, you almost have to deal with that first in life, and then the gaming part comes around. Because you'll know from us talking about cultural things, such and such shot up this, or such and such got stabbed, or there's a car accident, or Oklahoma City with the tornadoes and all.
Shoot, even 9/11, like you're going to have to explain that
Yeah.
one day too.
And so I think what will happen is as they get older, you'll be explaining that stuff to them already. So hopefully when it gets around to video games, and obviously I try to hold off violent video games from her till later in life, but I think it comes down to right and wrong first.
Yeah.
So I think she'll know hey, you don't go shoot somebody. That's that's in this video game, but we definitely saw that on the news growing up. And Daddy always explained to me how wrong that was to take somebody else's life and stuff like that. So I think culturally you kind of work it out before you get to gaming. Hall, how do you explain it to your dogs?
That's what I was just thinking. We go outside and play frisbee. I was going to say, I think, if you just introduce your kids to reading at a young age, I think they'll understand it. Like, they'll understand the story and the fantasy and all that stuff.
That's a good point.
Probably just introduce them to, Tolkien and C.S. Lewis and, just fantasy writers.
Stephanie Myers. I'm just kidding.
That's
when they're teenagers.
Yeah, that's Gabe. You and I get to deal with the whole teenage girl syndrome, so that's going to be no, not at all. But that's a great point, Hall. I think reading always helps too, because my parents did that for me as well. Like on
and you turned out
school
fine.
nights, I turned out okay. But I remember, like, on school nights, my parents wouldn't allow us to watch TV. We could read books and magazines and stuff, but the weekends were for television. And I hated it as a kid just because I felt like I missed out on a lot of stuff. But at the same time,
you're a more active adult.
Yeah, exactly. I'm more active, and I read more, and that helps.
Definitely.
I love it. Thank you guys for the questions. Those were awesome.
That was great.
I love that we're getting to we got some lately too. It seems like we've got some good meat and potatoes questions. Not, you know what I'm saying? Not like
I just got hungry.
Yeah, I'm gonna go fix me some meat and potatoes.
But
now.
just some good, solid questions, man. We really appreciate you guys thinking outside the box. And this is Kids, Wives, and 9 to 5, so the family stuff is awesome because that obviously comes first. But thank you guys so much for those questions. Those are awesome. You guys ready to get up out of here?
Let's do it.
Well, we got a website. It's marriedtothegames.com. You can check us out on Facebook, facebook.com/marriedtothegames, youtube.com/marriedtothegames, Twitter @MTTGcast. Come check us out, man. We are trying to keep it moving for y'all. But we love talking about this stuff as well. So we're here. We're going to be here. Hit us up on Twitter. Please, please, please rate us on iTunes. That would be awesome. We got a couple more ratings on there and people saying really nice stuff about the show. We appreciate it.
And that helps us a lot, on the iTunes store and stuff. So our show gets out to more people the more that you guys review us. So
yeah, man.
Keep it up.
And we appreciate you retweeting our stuff. That's another way that people can hear about the show. We just want a massive community of gamers. It's not about us. It's about these doggone games. And we love playing them. We're going to keep playing them. I'm Gabe Patillo. Timothy Hall. Tim Router in the building. We married to the games, baby. And we up out this thing. Peace.